A couple of days ago, I was asked what my favorite comfort game was, and I couldn't really answer it. Yeah, I had stuff like CS2, Valorant, or Kingdom Hearts when I'm bored, but those don't really make me feel that comfortable. And so it didn't sit right with me. And because of that, I went looking through all my libraries, my Steam, PlayStation, Xbox, even my Switch. And it was until I found Black Ops 3 sitting on my desktop that all the good and bad memories came in and I found my comfort game. I grew up in a small Caribbean island called Puerto Rico in the early 2000s. And so we didn't have much. We still did have enough for my parents to give me and my sister a PS2, and we shared it a lot. I watched my cousin and sister play games like Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, Beautiful Joe, and Harvest Moon, passing the controller whenever I died or it was their turn. I have so much respect for my cousin. He gave me so many games to try at his house. I remember being a bitch one time and annoying the shit out of him, but he was still nice enough to give me the controller. When I was around 5 or 6 years old, my mom put me on the local YMCA basketball team. And although I did make some really good friends, none of them really shared the passion I had for video games. Even still, we had a lot of fun, and I kind of wish I took it more seriously. I was a really good center. During this time, the PS3 came out, and my mom bought it for me, but with the condition of only using it on the weekends so that I could focus on school, which, although I hated, it was really the right move. During this time, the 360 reigned supreme, so any small group of friends I made that actually were into video games were in 360 parties while I was studying and maybe watching Cartoon Network or a Zelda Wind Waker Let's Play during the week. Meanwhile, my sister grew out of video games as a whole and was going through her fair share of shitty puberty, so I couldn't really play games with her, and it was really disconnecting. And at the time, my mom and dad were having a rough period. My dad having a bunch of mental illnesses that no one could really take care for, and my mom having to take care of me and my sister while being a single mom and having a dysfunctional dad was really tough on all of us. Even still, she did so much for the both of us, and we both persevered. My mom didn't miss a single one of my basketball games and would even buy me games if I did well, which definitely helped me pop off more. It was until one game I hurt my back really bad, and for what felt like an entire month, I couldn't move well. I felt paralyzed. I spent a lot of that time in my room playing video games and quit playing basketball as a sport altogether. I still play it from time to time, but it's more of a casual thing. At this time in my life, I needed an outlet of some kind for my own emotions. I hadn't realized it, but Treyarch Zombies mode was the best outlet I could have asked. I still didn't have many friends that wanted to play games with me due to gaming being a luxury that intimidates the average kid to ask for their parents. So when Black Ops 2 dropped around the 5th grade, I had my first experience playing zombies. I had to be in public matches with strangers in order to play because it was just too scary for a 10-year-old me. I'd always stick to random people like some damsel in distress type character. God Zombies is a pretty unique formula to the pandemic that was zombie games that plagued the 2010s, like Left 4 Dead, Dead Rising, Dead Island, The Walking Dead, House of the Dead. Man, that's sure is a lot of dead. It's a round based game mode where the only objective was to survive. It was a simple premise, yet really challenges the limitations of your will to survive. You can't do much in these maps, but how you do things can vary every single time you load in until either you get it down to a T or something else takes your attention and you add it to the scrapbook of camping spots or training spots. And when you add friends to the mix, the feeling of surviving with people was just so organically fun that it stuck with me. I don't think there's anything that could scratch that same itch, especially with all that was going down in my life. It would be boiled down to friends at school having fun and being bored and alone at home. So I would waste hours just surviving. Afterwards, I matured a bit, and in 7th grade, I found some friends who were like my second family. but life in Puerto Rico is a little more different than any small town in the US. A lot of them weren't gamers and weren't even near my neighborhood, so I still played like I used to all by myself. This time I took gaming as my little hobby I do on the weekends, like some do gardening or painting. I didn't need it like I used to. I have one memory in particular though that I still remember fondly. I got into a public match in the map town. We started off good, but after a while two people disconnected and I was left with one other person. We survived until the high 20 rounds, and after the game was over, I sent a friend request. Somehow they accepted and destroyed me on Nuketown Quickscope. After that, I met a little group of online friends who became my first ever clan for a hot minute, grinding every single multiplayer match. Although my real life overtook me in the end, leaving that group behind, to think it all started with a silly bare bones zombie map, it's kind of crazy. After a couple of months and DLCs dropped, I mustered the courage to start exploring the world Treyarch built all by myself, and fell in love with one map in particular, Buried. I think this is where my appreciation for old Western aesthetics and maybe even my desire to be a cowboy. Afterwards, Black Ops 3 drops at the coming of ninth grade. Starting high school, my friends got separated and some new ones came into the fray. Some of my best and worst times, and Black Ops 3 was there through all of it. It was the same formula, but it was just elevated to a whole new, beautiful level. This time, instead of surviving, you kind of learn how to thrive and make the most of out of the situation. Although there's still stuff that really bugs me, the map's design to the Easter eggs to the creativity, this game mode really blew my mind. I was going through some dark stuff while this was going on. Worthlessness, self doubt, and suicidal ideation while being a 15-year-old is really tough, and I still feel it from time to time. I remembered one time it was my birthday, and in the middle of class, I just started tearing up. I just felt so alone, even while my friends were right there for me. But my mind didn't accept that. I had to go through the bathroom to control myself, and my best friend asked why I started to cry. I told him how worthless I felt. He responded with tons of things we had done together and showed me a drawing I made for him. It was horrible, but he still kept it because how much it mattered to him, how much I mattered to him. I lost it and just let it all out on his shoulder with my really awful sobbing cry. So it was really awkward. This game would really help me to relax and escape from it all. Not just that, but to keep pushing forward no matter how many rounds I had to keep going, gunning down some zombos. Who knows, maybe I'll have time to relax in that frozen wood, eating some beans next to a campfire. And I did, and I definitely don't regret it one bit. It's all thanks to the World of Zombies team at Treyarch built, which wasn't even supposed to succeed at all. Afterwards, there were other iterations of zombies, and Infinite Warfare and Black Ops 4 ended the original storyline. But man, those two specifically were my best friends when I needed them. Currently, Zombies feels like a friend who, after being separated for years, you see a new version of them and it's different, so automatically dislike it, but you still feel as if it's a misguided version of themselves. Like someone told them to change when they didn't really need to. They were perfect just the way they were, flaws and all. Or maybe that's what they need to do in order to stay alive. You can't really blame them for that. I just hope they get to live the way they want to, you know? I think I made this video not only to show how much I've changed and how much I've stayed, but I guess also to show appreciation to all of those who inspired me. And also to gaming as a whole. It definitely is what made me who I am, and I definitely wouldn't be the same without it. I also got the opportunity to be able to bond with my sister, who, I love tons. She's pretty cool. And more importantly, I want to show a lot of love to Nikki Jakey's Bioshock video, which definitely is uh, my inspiration for all of this. And I hope I get to live up to that kind of quality someday. Who knows?